Hi, everyone. My name is John Bay. I'm the CEO of Standard Uranium. We are a junior exploration company focused in the Athabasca Basin of Saskatchewan, Canada. Hi, Matt. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm kind of I'm thankful that I'm not there at PDAC. It sounds busy. Lots of meetings happening, and obviously you're in the middle of a raise as well. So you timed that quite nicely in that sense, but not so much in terms of the market. Kind of a little bit crazy out there. So what's the mood on the floor? And what are people asking you about?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, let's talk about PDAC first. Here we are in Toronto in June, not March, so it's plus 20 instead of minus 30. So that's different. So the mood of people just being here has been great. The mood on the floor is the stock market sucks right now. Everyone, all sectors are getting beat up pretty hard. But people see the commodities as one of the bright spots. They think the commodities are going to be coming out of this and looking strong. And on top of that, uranium being one of the top sectors there. So everyone that I talk to sees, Standard Uranium on my badge, and they're asking, "Oh, uranium, awesome! You guys get a good future ahead of you." So that's exciting. We're seeing a lot of that.
Okay, but without one being accused of drinking the Kool-Aid, which some of us possibly can occasionally, you're all there together, looking at the market and going, "It'll be fine." But what's it going to take to kind of move the market, do you think? And what do you think the timing is?
Yeah, good question. Timing-wise, I think we're probably going to be going through some pretty rough patches over the summer here, and then hopefully coming into the fall, things are going to settle down as the U.S. get in the midterm elections, and we sort of see the market sort of coming back to life. And what we're seeing is the liquidity and volumes of trading is just dried right up, so investors are sort of putting the pause, holding back, and waiting and seeing where things are headed. There's lots of things happening globally that are impacting this. Of course, inflation being a big part, but with inflation, we think commodities are positioning themselves for really another nice bull run as we head into the fall.
Right. Okay. So for those with cash or able to access cash, which is relatively cheap, they're fine. We've seen a bit of M&A activity. We've seen UEC, UEX this week. I've yet to hear the plans. I look forward to that. There's a nice big move, but lots of new entrants as well, kind of, slipping onto the table, trying to get heard, creating white noise, as it were. So the question for you, before we kind of get into your project, is, again, in this economic environment, with share prices doing what they're doing, with kind of cash sort of drying up, and you're in the process of raising some cash right now, how do you get people's attention? I'm talking about the institutions, I'm talking about retail, I'm talking about everyone. Why are they looking at you versus all of these other stories which are out there?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So one of the things we pride ourselves on doing is the marketing we've been doing. We started this company, 4.5 years ago, and we've done we made a really strong effort of really pushing and getting our story out to as many people as we can. So now when people hear Standard Uranium, they're not hearing it for the first time. They've been watching what we've been doing. We've been telling people what we were going to be doing. That was building a strong technical team. We've built one of the strongest technical teams in the Athabasca Basin, uranium-specific geologists. We've acquired 5 projects, our flagship Davidson River, which we're drilling right now. And we're beginning to show people, what we're doing with each one of those projects and why they're exciting. These aren't just, moose pastures sitting beside other projects. These have got great technical merits with the possibility of a high-grade basement-hosted discovery. And that's what we're looking for, to find that next-gen arrow right beside them on our Davidson River project. So all the fundamentals are there for our company, and we're just proving out what we're doing with our drill programs.
Right. Okay. So you've announced the $3.5 million raise at 11 cents. Any warrants with that?
Yeah, there is actually a half warrant for 2 years at 17 cents.
Right.
And there's also 13-cent unit, which is flow through. So if you are a Canadian investor, there's a flow through opportunity. And we're going to be taking about 75% of this raise as flow through money because it's all going into the ground. We're drilling our flagship project right now, and we just need drill money. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So last set of drill results maybe perhaps didn't give the market what they wanted to see. I'm not sure it gave you what you wanted to see either, but all drilling tells you something. So how are you approaching this new what will you be doing with the current drilling in terms of raising capital? What will that kind of bring to the party?
Okay, great. So the raise we're doing right now, you said $3.5 million to $4 million. That's going to allow us to drill about 5,000 meters this summer on our Davidson River project. And what we're doing now is we're testing our Thunderbird trend, which has not had a single drill hole in it yet. So that's the most southwestern corner. So we've got we started this drill program in mid-May. We've got 2 drill holes in that. We're probably going to be doing 5 or 6 at least on Thunderbird, and then onto our South Bronco trend where we had the greatest drill results in our last program. When I say great, there wasn't a high-grade discovery, but what it did show us was great structure, great alteration, broken up rocks, great areas where uranium could be. So we're trying to pinpoint on that vector in and find those same spots with uranium. That's the goal.
Right. Okay. And so give me this. You've got some assays coming back soon. Is that right?
We have assays coming back from our winter drill program at Sundog, which is a different program.
Right. Okay. But again, in terms of messages to the market and saying, hey, we're a good team. We know what we're doing. The drilling's working out. Those assays from Sundog are going to, add what to the story? Because obviously you want to focus people on Davidson River. That's where the money's going to be piling in. What's Sundog going to add to this story? Well,
I think we announced to the market after the drill program ended in March that, look, we had all the drilling done. When a drill comes out of the ground, we send along, we take pictures of it, we record it, then we send it out to the assay lab. So we put out a news release, in early April, telling people that, look, we finished our drill program. Here's some core photos. Here's what we found. There wasn't a high-grade discovery, but the assays are going to go off to the lab, and they'll give us more information internally that we can put into our leapfrog model and help vector in our next program. There were a few really exciting things. Number one, we proved that we can go up to Uranium City and actually run a drill program in the middle of March on ice roads, where no one's been up there doing these things for 15 years where we were. So we had to prove all the logistics up, and we've got that nailed. We've had a new drill company called Base. They proved themselves brilliantly. We're really happy with that. They put in 4 drill holes over a 4-week period. And the drills that came out, the drill core was actually full of dravite. Now, for those people who are not technical in geology or in the Athabasca uranium geology, dravite is a great indicator that you're very close to something very high grade. So that's exciting.
But why not stay there then? Why go back down to Davidson River?
Because the ice road melts and you have to get off. You've got a very short window to be in there.
Right. So this is a kind of seasonal drilling program for you. So is it very different down Davidson River?
Yeah, it is actually. To get to the Athabasca, like up near Uranium City, it's not that easy to get to. So you got 2 options. You can fly everything in, or you can take the ice roads in the winter, and that is much cheaper. So the ice roads are built by the government of Saskatchewan, and they give us about a 5 or 6 week window. We can get everything in and get everything out. So saving capital on logistics, we want to put money into the ground for drilling. So we try to do our programs in the winter up there. And then once we make a good discovery up there, then we'll be able to go back in all year round and be able to drill up there.
Right. Okay. So you're alternating depending on the literally seasonality of it all. So Sundog and with the dravite, it says to you, okay, there may be something there. We'll come back to that. It's not a case of, hey, maybe we need to flip this out and make it someone else's problem, right?
Oh, exactly. I mean, not only that are we excited about it, we have other people around the world that are excited about it as well and approaching us. If there's something we'd be doing in a JV model with them. So there's money coming at us to potentially spin that out. We're considering it. I mean, we're always looking at different ideas. We have some of our major shareholders who are telling us, please spend all your money on Davidson River. That's what we're excited about. So look, if somebody else wants to come along and put money into Sundog, that's something we'll look at for sure.
Okay. Well, because it's like, you've got a good track record. The team and the board, people that you assemble, all good people. Like Mike Young, someone we know, is a really nice guy from ex-Vimy. $10 million market cap with the capitally constrained. You've got to be really spot on with your strategy, right? So Sundog, possible JV form out, some kind of structure like that you'd be happy with, so you can focus down at Davidson River. So we'll listen out and you'll let us know when that happens, right? And I guess same too with the Eastern Basin projects. But so you've got to be quietly confident about Davidson River, the Davidson River project, and what you're going to be able to do there. So what is it that I need to know that that leads me to believe that this will be a good use or allocation of capital?
Great. Well, Davidson River, we tell people all the time, it is still our flagship project. We love this project. We are sitting on the Patterson Lake Conductor, where we know Fission has their Triple R and NextGen have their Arrow project. We spent 2 years doing all the geology and geophysics, proving that Patterson Lake Conductor runs right through and into our Davidson River project. And we have 4 main conductors. We weren't sure which one of those 4 conductors was the continuation, so we've been drilling them all. And the one we haven't got to yet is our Thunderbird. And we're putting drill holes in that right now as we speak. So we started drilling middle of May. We're going to be drilling all through the summer, testing out Thunderbird, plus putting a few into the southern portion of the Bronco corridor, where we had some really exciting, holes last year that weren't, discovery holes, but they had a lot of great information on there that gets our geologists really excited that they think there's a lot of smoke where that fire could be.
Okay, so you're referencing Triple R and Arrow off to the east of you. So there's these conductors. I mean, how much work have you done on that, or how much work have you data have you got that allows you to believe that these conductors do kind of veer off to the west and run through your property? Tell me.
Well, that's a great question. So people who might not know our story may not know who we have on our team. So I can tell you our VP of exploration is Sean Hilliker. Now, his name may not be known to anyone, but he was actually the geologist who was one of the geologists who was working at NextGen. He came right out of university, spent 5 years working at NextGen on the Arrow deposit from discovery right to feasibility. And he actually did his master's degree and actually wrote the paper on the Arrow deposit. So if you're asking for somebody who knows what the Arrow deposit looks like and what the core looks like, he's your guy. So he joined Standard Uranium 2 years ago, came on as our VP of exploration, and now he leads our drill programs at Davidson. So when we are now, you take the geophysics and you find the conductors and you start drilling into it, you don't know if it's the same conductor or the same rock type until you see that core. We know, we've seen the core, it comes out, and Sean can say, this looks identical to the core we had at NextGen with our Arrow deposit. What we don't have yet is that high-grade discovery. But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find Arrow 2.0 on the Davidson River Project. And that's what investors should be excited about, because if we find that, man, oh man, that's exciting. But
what sort of grade is the Arrow deposit? Is it higher than yours? Is it deeper than yours? I mean, similar in what way?
Well, first of all, we don't have any grades yet because we haven't made that discovery. But what they have over there, it's a mine that's going to last for many, many years. I think it's going to be about 3.5 to 4% across the grade. But they have drill holes over there where they're pulling out core where it's 75%, 80% uranium. That's best in the world. So that project is super exciting, and investors that know that project know that's going to be the next uranium mine built. And they're going to build a mill there as well. So just 30 kilometers down the road, we're going to have a brand new mine, a brand new mill, a brand new airport, roads, infrastructure. It's all going to be beautifully set up.
Right. Okay. So in terms of the work that you and your team are doing, it's like proving up the theory that these conductors carry on down through your property. That's the one and only thing that we need to understand about what your strategy is, yeah?
We know that we're on the same conductors. Now we just need to find the uranium, the high-grade uranium. Right. So that takes time. The drill holes, as you know, are like a couple inches wide, and we get 12 kilometers long on these strikes of these conductors. So we are stepping out, 500 meters, 1,000 meters at a time testing, and you get a lot of information, but you can also miss it. Some of these deposits are a few hundred meters wide, and if you're off by a few, you miss it, right? So it takes a little time.
Right. So coming back to my earlier point about you got to spend your money wisely at these levels, yes. Raising $3.5-4 million now. Yeah. I know clearly drilling, but in terms of improving your chances of success and hitting what you need to hit, what do you do? Are there some tricks of the trades? I mean, you got one of the NextGen guys there. How did they do it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, they were lucky enough. They were following along where Vision had the R project. And they went right along strike on that same conductor and started drilling out, and they did all their geophysics to sort of make their discovery. NextGen's project, it's 100% made on geophysics. There's no uranium at surface, so it was all done that way. They did the geophysics, found the same conductor, then they drilled until they made their discovery. And that's what we're doing. Ours is the same type of thing. We're looking for that basement hosted. We go from the surface to about between 50 to 150 meters, 200 meters till you get to that basement rock. And you think about Arrow, it goes from just below that to about almost a kilometer down in depth. So there can be a big deposit.
Big deposits and expensive drilling. I mean, that's the thing in terms of.
Well, it's not that expensive drilling compared to the eastern side where you're going under. You go down a kilometer under sandstone. We don't have that. We're not under a lake. We're not under sandstone. So if a deposit is there, the mineability is going to be much better.
Okay. So what is? Say you get $4 million in. Number of holes. You've told us how deep. So number of holes. Give me the timing. What's the rest of this year look like? Because it's a very, very tricky times. I'm kind of interested in you get the money. It's the allocation of capital, how quickly you deploy that, what information you hope to get back. Because a lot of the data that's coming back into the market, it's just being received with shrugged shoulders, going, okay, cool. And so what do you do in that environment, right?
Yeah, well, one of the things exciting about this type of project, if we get a discovery hole, the market is not going to be quiet. It's going to go ballistic. You see what happened to ISO Energy when they get into a high-grade discovery, and they were 20x within a year. And same with when NextGen made their discovery, and same with R with Vision. Those type of high-grade uranium discoveries, they move the market substantially. And that's what we're trying to do for our investors as well.
But timing's important there, John. That's the difference, right? Hitting the market in 2020 or first half of 2021, I agree with you. it's kind of different times now, and a little bit nervous. It's risk off, it's cash in hand, and just waiting for something to happen. And a few people have had their fingers burnt along the way. So keep coming back to it's how small companies strategically plan the allocation of capital and what it is that they announce to the market, and the timing of how they announce that to the market is important, especially with companies with strong fundamentals like yourselves. Yourselves, versus all this other white noise promotional stuff, which gets people excited, but off the back of nothing. That's what you're competing with.
Definitely. We see that all around us. And we, it's funny. We talk to our analysts, we talk to our brokers and bankers, and we have these same conversations. But we all know one thing: a high-grade basement hosted discovery is going to be a game changer. It's going to move the markets dramatically. So if NextGen made their discovery in a complete bear market, and they had a huge success. And, ISO came on right 2.5 years ago or so with their discovery at Hurricane. That moved the market substantially over a very short period. We believe, this bear market we're kind of in right now, this recession area, we're going to come out of that. And the uranium market is going to be crushing it. It is going to be very strong as we go into the next few years. And we're going to hit these discoveries, forward-looking statement, of course, and it's going to be remarkable for our shareholders. So we are very strong believers of where this uranium market is going and where a company with a high-grade basement hosted discovery could go. It's beautiful, and we're super excited, and our shareholders are excited about it. We just got to keep drilling, raising money, and drill until we get that.